Welcome to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Today we're going to make a snowman. Yes, I have a cat frame in front of me, but it will not stay a cat frame for long because we're going to change this into a snowman. So, if you're at Hobby Lobby or even Dollar Tree, make sure that you pick up one of these frames. If not, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you some alternative ways to make the same wreath without using this frame. So, if you're watching and it's way past Halloween or fall, don't fret. I'm going to show you how to take normal frames and do the same exact thing, okay? So what will we need to get started? Well, I'm going to show you how to do it on this bigger frame. I did purchase one from Dollar Tree, but it's really small, the one for Dollar Tree, but that would make such cute Christmas presents for teachers or just your neighbor or something if you didn't want to put a lot of money into something but you wanted to show them that you cared. These frames are, let's see here, after you would get it done, it would be about a 12-inch body, and then you would have a hat. So you're looking at about a 14 to 16-inch frame, and then, you know, it's not going to be wider than about 8 inches at the biggest part. So this is going to be kind of small. So that's why I got the Dollar Tree one. And this is what it looks like normally, and it's absolutely very cute. You could hang this on your door for Halloween, but we're not focused on Halloween. We're going to work on Christmas right now. So as you can see, I already took the tinsel off of the main body of this frame. And let me show you what I'm going to do next, because if you've watched a Facebook Live that I put on YouTube, earlier this year in 2019, but I actually made the Facebook Live in 2018, and it's where I had taken a bunny form from Dollar Tree, and I show you how to put the yarn on it, and that's kind of been a very popular thing, is to put the yarn on different wreath frames now and everything since I started that. But if you have a bunny frame, use this as well. This is a little bit more oval shape, but it will still be cute and you can still use this. So if you have that, use this too, okay? But maybe you check back on that video and you can see how I did this frame. So I'm going to put that to the side, and I have taken off, as you can see, this comes off fairly easy, and if you want, you can even save this tinsel for like a middle of a flower, maybe Christmas decorations, anything like that you could use it for. So you would just have a lot. It's got wire to it, and it's still a pretty good product, so it could have another use somewhere else. But what I'm going to do is we're going to get rid of the tail. So all I'm going to do is take my wire cutters, and I'm just going to cut off the tail, okay? And it's connected up here too. So now the tail is gone, so it's looking a little less like a cat. And then I'm going to cut the ears off as well. And it's plastic, so it will cut through fairly well or easy enough if you have a good pair of wire cutters. So I'm going to cut the rest of this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and I've already, as you can see, we have the makings of our snowman. I did go and take my wire cutters, and I just trimmed off the knobs because these knobs are black. And because they're black, they're going to show through on the outside. I'm not worried about the inside knobs. You see those little knobs? Because we're going to fill the body of this snowman and this face, okay? So if you have ever watched my bunny tutorial that I did, and I will leave a link in the description, and please be nice because it is a Facebook Live, and it was when I was beginning to do Facebook Lives, and I had no idea which direction it was all facing the camera, and it was a little silly because I had an upside down bunny for a while. But I have since learned how to use my camera properly. So this yarn right here we're going to use, you can get a version of this yarn at Walmart. It's just a chenille feeling type of yarn. It's called Yarn Bee. I get it at Hobby Lobby when it's on sale because it does go on sale for 30% off. It's called Eternal Bliss White, and it is 28 yards. I have 2 of these. I'm not sure how many I'll use on this, but I'm pretty sure I'll end up using at least one, and I'll go into the second one. So make sure you have at least 2 of these. So before we can get all the fun started, we are going to have to do a couple things first so that when this is all done and said, we will have what we need to cover the back of this wreath and what we're going to need for the middle. So what I'm going to do is I just took a piece of white felt. I buy this from off of the yard, so you can find it at Walmart, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, anywhere that sells fabric. They should sell this type of felt. So I got to get that together. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of mark this outside of this frame, and then I will just cut this out. And this, what this will be is the backing of our wreath so that it just covers it up nicely. So you could have just taken that and done it down here, but I'm just going to, for time's sake, I'm just going to kind of do it here. And so I will cut all this out. You won't have to see me cut it out. I know it's yellow, so you can't see it. I do a lighter color on the white so that if I don't get all the yellow off, you won't see it very well. So I'm going to cut these pieces out and have it at the end of this wreath, okay? Now, the next thing you're going to need is plastic canvas, and it's called Plastic Canvas Shape. This is the 5 mesh, and I like the 5 mesh because it's very flexible, as you can see, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am just going to take a marker, and I am just going to mark the inside of this circle. This is his body, so I'm just going to make a template here, and then I'm going to cut this out with my scissors, okay? So I'm going to cut that piece out, and then I'm going to take the same thing up here, and we're going to do the same inner circle but for the face. And once we get the yarn around the initial frame, then we will put the canvas on. And since I'm using black, I'm going to take a tissue or something and make sure I wipe that off because I don't want to get any black marker on my white yarn. So I will be right back with all my pieces cut out. So now we're back, and I have everything cut out. I have all my pieces cut out here that we're going to use in a bit. So what I did was when I did the original bunny wreath with the yarn, I did it where if I take this off, you're going to see this. I'm going to take a mess, okay? This does not actually go around the whole wreath. It goes over it, and it uses those little pegs to do your yarn. Well, that should still work for the Dollar Tree frame, but it won't work for this frame because the pegs are just a little too far apart. I would recommend one other step if you decide to do it that way. I would paint your frame with just white acrylic paint that you get for like $1 at the craft store, and I would just paint it on just so that the black wouldn't show through. But that's not what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to we're just simply going to wrap the frame around. We're going to take a piece of our yarn, and I'm just going to take a 4-inch zip tie. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to put some right here. And I'm just going to attach it this way. Or you could even tie it to the frame too. I'm just so used to using zip ties, I think that's my issue. So I'm just going to cut that. And so at this point, because I cut about a 2-yard piece, I'm just going to start wrapping it around my frame like so. And I'm going to make sure that everything is pretty close together. Now, it does not matter if these little black knobs on the inside show because we're going to cover those with more yarn, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this whole section and this whole section, and I'll be back. All I'm doing is going in and out here. So when I get to the end of this, I will just, I will get to one of these bars, and I will zip tie it to one of those bars, and then add another piece like I just showed you. So this is really super easy. You could get the kids involved, and they could help make their teacher a snowman for their classroom door, which would be super cute. So I will be right back. Okay, so I've almost finished putting the yarn all the way around, and I just wanted to kind of show you at the end here. I'm just going to wrap it around. If you can see any of the black at the middle of underneath its neck, that's okay, because we're going to put a bow there, or a scarf. You could do a bow, but I think I'm going to try a scarf. We'll see. Whatever looks better, okay? So I'm just going to keep wrapping it, and then so there'll be just a tad bit of a hole there, and that's okay. So I'm just going to bring it around and just zip tie it to another piece of the yarn here, and then I'll cut that, and I will be done. So at this point, we're going to work on the middle of our forms here to kind of fill in, to give that snowman that fluffy feel that snowmen have. So this is where the fact that you already traced this is a good thing, because it would be kind of hard to trace now. So this is the canvas that we traced and we cut out. So I'm just going to put one there, and I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take a longer zip ties, so bear with me. I'm just going to actually go through the yarn itself and come out right underneath here, and I'll flip this over. Okay, so can you see what I did? I just came through, because we're going to be covering all that up, okay? And so this is how I'm going to attach the frame, the canvas grid, to the frame, okay? So I'll put one there, and then I'm going to just take it and I'm going to put the tie into the frame itself. I think 4 of these would probably be enough. You could add a few more if you wanted. It's really up to you. So just going to attach it here. And let's do 2 more. Alright, so I'm going to take this one and I'm going to do the same thing. Pretty easy. And then we can get started on the middle. We now have our grid in both of the places, and as you can see, they're not really straight grids, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be straight. We just need some holes to be able to attach the middle of our wreath to. So I have showed you how to make flower centers this way and bunnies this way. So now I'm going to show you how to do it the same technique, but with a snowman. So you're just going to take your yarn and you're just going to wrap it around your hand. Let's get some yarn out of here first. You're just going to wrap it around your hand about 4 times, okay? So you're going to take it and pinch it in the middle. And I'm going to take a 6-inch zip tie, and I'm going to do it this way first and see if it will even show if I do it the zip tie coming up in the front here. And we're just going to zip tie it in the middle. I haven't cut anything. You could cut these little pieces if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. So these are 6 inches, so that looks pretty good. So let's just trim this little guy off here. Yep, I think that'll work. So I can just use these, and I'm just going to put another one over here. You could use 4-inch, 8-inch zip ties, whatever you want. I'll leave the link for these below where I get them. I buy them like 1,000 at a time because I use so many, so about 4 to 5 times each. And you're just going to lay it in there and then zip tie it. Okay. And you just want to try to cut it as close as you can without cutting the yarn itself, okay? So all you're going to do is you're just going to keep doing that, and we're going to go around this grid. and that'll be the fluffiness of our snowman. And honestly, I think we might be able to get away with one of these. We'll see here. Time will tell when we're done with this wreath. So as you can see, I'm just going to round it, and I will end it probably in the middle here, but I'm just going to keep doing this and go all the way around, and then I'll put one in the middle, and then I'll come back and show you. So we're back. Nothing is glued down or sewed down yet, but I just was kind of trying to get a feel for where I wanted everything. What I purchased was this little bag of buttons. As you can see, there are a ton of buttons in this bag. It's probably 151 pieces to be exact, from Hobby Lobby. And what the plus was this week, it was $4.99 with 50% off of all sewing notions. So that was a win for me, and I have all these buttons. I can do more of these cute little snowmen. So at this point, you can either, if you don't want to get a big needle, I have a big needle here already thread with some heavy duty black thread. I don't even know what kind of thread it is. And you could just place your buttons where you wanted and go through and thread them and tie them off. Or you could just get your glue gun. The nose is just a piece of this stiff felt, and all I did was cut a little triangle out of it. Really simple. That triangle is about 2 inches long, so you could just do whatever you wanted. You could use a pipe cleaner. If you have another idea, let me know in the comments below what you use, because I would be really interested in knowing. The next thing you could do, now if you live in the country or maybe you have trees, I have one tree in my yard. I know, I live in a subdivision, I have one tree. My neighbors have trees, but I don't know why we don't have them. But I don't have anything with like the big thick branches. So I had gotten these in a little bag of these to do something with them from Hobby Lobby, and I thought, well, you could, if you wanted to, you could give them really short stubby arms. It's up to you. You could just put a little bit of dab of glue and it would just stay in there really good. So at this point, I'm going to try to sew this on. Let's see, and I will show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to take all of these off, but it just kind of gives you an idea. You're not going to need a ton of stitches, so don't be like, oh, I can't ever do that. So I'm just going to go on the back here where I think my button is. I'm going to see if I can feel it. Yep, I went right through it. So I'm just going to go all the way back here. I'm not going to pull all the way through because I need to leave some string so we can tie it off, okay? Because that's not fabric, it won't catch for us, okay? So then I'm just going to go through the other side, and I am no seamstress, guys. If I can do this, you can do this. So if you don't want to use just glue, which you can use glue, it should stay on fine, you know, as long as this isn't in really hot weather, it should be fine. So there's one, okay? And at this point, you could just tie that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and tie that off because I don't really feel this is pretty. This is going to stay put. And this is what you would do for all of them. You could put another cross stitch if you wanted to, but I think this is going to be good enough. Okay. And I'm going to pull. All right. Yep. So that's going to be good enough. All right, and that's not going to go anywhere, and I can still put a little bit of glue in there. If you want, you could go back through. Let's see if I can get it through that other side. Kind of up to you. Yeah, I can get it through there. So if you're one of these people that has to see that cross stitch, the zigzag, you can get that done too. So at this point, I don't even think I'm going to cut this. I'm going to just hold my stitch, place my another button down here. Yep, that's pretty straight. And I'm just going to go down through here and see if I can find the little hole. Let's find, yeah, you're back there. Let's see, where you at? There you are. You were lower than I thought. Okay. And that kind of pulls that one too. Kind of hold it all together. Okay, I'm going to pull that one. Yep, that's not going to go anywhere. So probably I would use a longer, more thread. Let's see where this comes up. Where is it going to come up? No, a little bit too far. There we go. So I can do that cross stitch again. Okay, so I have all of my buttons sewed on, and I will tell you, it took me a good 20 minutes to sew all of these on. So if you know that this isn't going to be in a lot of heat, you might just want to hot glue them on. It'll be all right. But I went ahead and I finished it because I wanted to be able to tell you about how long. And as you can see, I just would tie it off. I would use one string and go from button to button to button, and then I just tied it off. So another thing, and I want to tell you this because if it happened to me, it will probably happen to you. So I was sewing the buttons and I bent this back and it broke. Yes, it broke in two. All right, so what did I do to fix it? Because honestly, if it's going to happen to me, it will likely happen to you, or if, you know, it got hung the wrong way in your door. So all I did was I took two zip ties, and I'll take another one just to add to it. And I went through the top part of this one. And again, we're going to put a scarf here, and then I went through the bottom one to connect it. And now there are 3 40-pound weight-bearing zip ties on this, and I am in no way worried that this is going to come apart. So it's probably a good thing. I would probably add these even if it didn't break on you. I would probably add these just to kind of strengthen your snowman. So I am going to just put a little bit of glue on the back of my nose. And again, if you have a better nose, use it, you know. This is just what I have. This is what I have on hand, and this is what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to glue the nose on like that. So let's talk about the scarf and let's talk about the hat. All right, so let's talk about the scarf first. So I was at Hobby Lobby and I saw this flannel buffalo check. And if anybody knows me and you've been watching me on Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube, you know that I love buffalo check. So I had to get the buffalo check. So what I did was I noticed that the edges of this fabric already had the little fray ends. So what I did was I cut a long piece, and yes, this will probably, and my hat just fell to the floor, this will probably be too long of a piece for me, but that's okay. I'm going to just wrap it around here and just see what I can do. Now at this point, you could use a scarf. They sell flannel scarves at Dollar Tree. You could cut that up and use that. Or you could just use a bow. You could use ribbon. I'm just wanting, I don't know, I think I'm just going to kind of tie it over like this. And I probably need to cut him a little bit shorter, so let's just go ahead and do that. Take my scissors here, and I will just make my own fringe. That looks about good enough. Oh, that is so not straight, so let's try that again. There we go. And we will do this side maybe here. I'll take my rotary cutter and just go with the line of the check here. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to cut little fringes. Okay. And if you want to do a red scarf, I mean, you could do a blue scarf, any kind that you want to do, you should do. Me, I'm all about the buffalo check. Okay, so I'm going to finish this. I'm not doing a very good job here. Okay, there we go. So I got to get all the little black things off of my fur here, or my snow. It's not fur. I'm not making a bunny. So there we go, is the base of our guy. Like I said, you could put little, you know, sticks in for his arms. I don't know. I think these might be a little too little. Tell me what you think, if I need longer sticks or not. We'll see. So what are we going to do for the hat? So there's a couple of options you could do for this hat, okay? And also make a big bow. If you would like to do those fancy bows with your pro bow and put a bunch of, you wouldn't even have to put buttons on, just maybe a bow and a hat. It would look super cute. So what else can we do? We can take this stiff black felt, and you can cut out your own version of a hat. That's what I did. I just kind of cut it. It's kind of wonky. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of off balance, but I'm not going to use this hat. I'm going to use something different. And I had these hats. I've had them for years, and I thought originally I was going to use them for a turkey wreath, but I did find that you can purchase these on a website called consumercrafts.com. And I am going to find the link for this, and I will leave this top hat link below. So what I like to do is I'm not going to use the whole hat. Now to purchase this hat, I think they're $1.77. So I'm going to cut this hat in half so I can use it on 2 of these wreaths. So all you're going to do is you're going to just cut, because we just want half of the hat, and this will leave us room for our snowman so that his hat doesn't look like it's too big for him, because the hat's going to be like that. So there you go. Now you've got 2 hats to use. So at this point you can decorate your hat any way you want. I did cut off, let's see here, I thought I did, maybe I didn't. I cut a piece of this check, and I think I want the white to show a little bit and the black to show, so I'm going to kind of go down in between these. Oh, I just so went the wrong way. Okay, so let's use, I'm now going to use my cutting board here. And I should have probably used a straight edge, but I'm not. Alright, so we got one side there. I think you get the gist. Okay, I'm going to just, instead of getting the ribbon out, I want to kind of match it with what I'm using for the scarf, okay? So this will give me a little bit of both. And I'm just going to wrap it around the brim. And so I'm going to take my glue gun, and watch your fingers. I'm going to just glue one part there and wrap it all the way around. And I'm going to cut it. I don't need all of that. And put a little bit more glue so it will stay place. Okay, stay in place. So at this point, you could add a little bit of a flower or something, but I just like the look of it. I just like the look, and I think he looks super cute. So what I'm going to do is now going to attach my hat to my snowman. So how am I going to do that? So I'm going to flip him over, okay, and I'm going to take some really sharp scissors, and I'm going to take, this time I'm going to get out my black zip ties. Hold on, I know I'm being a little loud here. I'm just going to take 2 black zip ties, and I am just going to put a hole, a good hole, in the hat on both ends. Got to press it pretty good. But I will leave a link for this hat if you want to use this hat. If you don't want to order this hat, then just use the felt, or use, they have hats similar to this at Hobby Lobby in the doll section. So I would let me say this correctly. I would search in like Joann's and Michael's. I don't know if Michael's has a doll section. I do believe Joann's does, and Hobby Lobby does. And check there for the hats, and you might be able to find something very similar, okay? So let's look on the other side here again, one more time. So I want it to kind of set right on there, so he has his brim of his hat right there. I mean, if you want to do that, you could do that too. I don't know why I like a snowman's hat on the edge, but I do. So I'm going to stick with what I like. So I'm just going to take my zip tie. I'm going to place it through. You can't see it. Let me take it through first. I've already put my cut here, and of course, okay, there we go. Let's just go ahead and do both of these. Where's the other zip tie? Oh, right there. And because it's black, then that way it won't be as noticeable. Okay? So I think that this is what I want. Let me look here. Yep. Sorry I didn't show that to you. But you're just going to go through the yarn. Okay? I'm not going to pull it too tight because I want to be able to adjust it. And I'm going to go through this side through the yarn. And it's going through the outside of this frame too. Okay? Let's turn this over. Oh, super cute. I think he's super cute. What do you guys think? I think he's super cute. All right, so I'm going to just pull that a little bit more because I like where it's at. Okay, and now I'm going to just cut my zip ties. Okay, so how are we going to hang this guy? Well, I'm going to, let's see here, I'm going to just make a loop. I'm going to get, a white pipe cleaner. And honestly, this would probably be a good idea. I probably should have put his hat more on this side. And the reason why I might go ahead and take this off and put his hat there, because then you could just put his loop behind the hat. So I'm going to see how he does if I go take a zip tie or a pipe cleaner here. I don't know. You know what? Here, just take the zip tie. Okay, it's not a zip tie, it's a pipe cleaner. And I'm running it through the grid here, okay? And I'm going to make a small loop on both sides. Okay? Because I really like the hat like that. Now, if you want to put his hat this way, then you would just put the little loop behind the hat, and that would be perfect. But I don't think that that's going to be too noticeable. So we're going to just leave it at that, because that's what I like. Do what you like, okay? So at this point, I have a little spot here to hang him. Okay, I've twisted that pretty good. And at this point, you would just take your felt that we cut previously and how we cut it. So now all I'm going to do is just glue it on the back. And actually, you would probably want to make this one just a little bit smaller. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. But I think you understand what I mean now. So all I'm going to do is just glue it on the back. And we have a cute, super cute little snowman. So soft. I really think that this would fit in between the doors of like a storm door and, you know, the storm door and the regular door. So now I'm picking out the little pieces from the fabric here. But I think he's super cute, guys. So make sure to like and subscribe. I know this is probably a little bit of a longer video. I hope it wasn't too long. But thank you so much for joining me at Julie's Wreath Boutique. I just said goodbye to you, but I didn't really want to say goodbye because I told you I would tell you how to do this with frames. So in order to get the look of this little guy right here, what you can do if you don't have the frames that I showed you with today, you could take an 8-inch and a 10-inch, okay? You would just zip tie them. You could make each separately. Like I showed you, you're gonna wrap it around. You're gonna put some canvas in the middle. Do the same with your bigger wreath. You could even make this even a 3-tiered snowman. So you could do like a 12-inch, a 10-inch, and an 8-inch. I know that's kind of upside down for you, but I think you get my gist. If you wanted to make a really big snowman, and maybe I need to make one of these. Can you see that? You would just make each frame by themselves. You would wrap it around, like I showed you, add your grid, do the middle of your guy, okay? And then you would have 3 separate pieces. So then you would just take, as I showed you, once they're all together, all completed, you're just gonna take zip ties and you're going to go from one end to another and you're going to just secure them like that. And you're going to probably put maybe 3 at a piece. So you could do them all this way. So my point is, you don't have to have, if you live somewhere where you don't have a Dollar Tree, you don't have a Hobby Lobby, you can't get access to a frame like this, use a wire wreath form. Use the Dollar Tree wreath forms. You can make this work. You could do this with the styrofoam. You could do that as well. You could just take stick pins and put the canvas in that way. But my point is this can be done multiple ways. So again, I will really say, I'll see you next time. Make sure to like Julie's Wreath Boutique on Facebook. Join my crafting club on Facebook called Wreath Creators and More, and see all the social media links below. So this time I'm really going to say goodbye. And here's one more look at that cute little guy. I'll talk to you later.